Hey Marty, how's it going?
Hey, Lindsay, it is going well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, and happy Monday to the rest of KW Austin Southwest. Hope you guys are doing well. Slowly but surely filing in here, and we'll get started in about 5 or 6 minutes. So thanks for being here, and excited to work with you guys today. I'm going to refill my water, and I'll be right back, guys. Hey guys, so see a few questions in chat. We'll go over this when we get started as well. But yes, you are all muted. I cannot hear you. I cannot see you. No one else can hear you or see you. So feel free to tell the kids they can be rowdy as they want to be, right? The dog can bark and it's going to be okay. I am going to show you shortly how to raise your hand. So that way if you have questions and you want me to unmute you, you can raise your hand. We can go live with you actually talking. Or we've got the chat, which obviously you guys are seeing right now. You can post questions there. We can scroll back up and get those answered for you as well. So yeah, just a little bit different, but Zoom style webinar I found has been a little bit more convenient. That way you have the freedom to do what you want to do, eat lunch, have a conversation, and you're not going to impact the rest of us. And kind of gives you the freedom to not be tied 100% to your computer. So hopefully you are, and hopefully you're learning, and hopefully you're excited, and yet just a little bit different of a style. So again, we will get started here in about 4 more minutes. Hey, Lindsay, I'm confirming you can see my phone screen, or anyone in chat that's available, if y'all can confirm that you can see my phone screen on the share. Perfect. Thanks, guys. And thank you. And All right, guys, so it is 2 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get started. So my name is Marty Miller. For those of you that I may not have met, I am your South Texas Regional Technology Trainer, or RTT for abbreviation. I live here in Katy, Texas. I've been with Keller Williams for about 6 years now. I started off as an independent agent and joined a team very quickly thereafter. I have worked as a buyer's agent. I moved up to a listing agent on the team. Became the vice president of expansion, later the vice president of sales, and then ultimately took over as the president of the team when my rainmaker stepped out to do some commercial projects and other things. So did that for about 4.5 years on that team. We were a top 15 small team in Houston, in the Houston area, for about 4 years running. They still are. It was just we were that when I was on the team. I became a productivity coach shortly thereafter and did that role for about 1.5 years, working with Lance and Karina Loken at their market center there in Platinum, Randy Olive, my amazing team leader, and then had the opportunity to, at the first of the year, to join all of you as your regional technology trainer for South Texas. So that includes Austin, San Antonio, Houston, and the Rio Grande Valley. So that's a little bit about me. I am a proud husband to my lovely wife, Nicole. I am a dad to twin 5-year-old girls, and Lily May is on the way. So we have a baby due August 19th, and she will be my 3rd girl. So if you say prayers, pray for me, and super excited about that coming down the pike. So today we're talking about the Keller Williams consumer app. Let's look at Zoom real quick, just kind of go through some housekeeping, then we're going to jump into the app. So if you have never been on a Zoom webinar before, you've probably noticed that A, you are automatically muted, and B, your camera is off. So feel free to know that you don't have to worry about what's happening in your background, because we can't hear you, we can't see you. That being said, at the bottom of your screen, you should have the button to click on participants, and you're going to see a list of all the people that are there. And then if you hover over your name, you should have the ability to raise your hand. So if you could do me a favor, and I'd love for everybody to raise your hand, so that way I know that you guys are seeing how to do that. There we go. I see that number climbing, climbing, climbing. We're up to 28, 29, getting into the 30s now. Lindsay raised her hand as our participant or panelist. Awesome. All right, just so I know you know how to put them down, let's put them all back down. Put them all back down. Cool. All right, slowly but surely. There we go. All right, one more time, just so I know you know how to do it. Everybody raise them back up one more time. Let's see if we can get that into the 40s this time. There we go. Now we're climbing. Good job. Good job. Awesome. We're past 40. Okay, put them back down. If you have never virtually raised the roof, congratulations. You just raised the roof on your first Zoom webinar. So great work, Austin Southwest. All right, today we are here to talk about the KW Consumer app. In the chat, go ahead and tell me, what kind of app is it? We're here to talk about what kind of app. Throw it in the chat there. Lindsay, I'll give you a couple seconds, and I'll let you unmute yourself and tell them all what kind of app it is. An awesome one, a search and client engagement. Lindsay, what kind of app is this?
I don't know what exactly you're looking for. A home search app?
For who, Lindsay?
For the consumer. It's for the consumer.
Consumer app. All right. So what word did I not use? Agent.
Agent.
Okay. So this is not an agent app. This is a consumer app. So I want to get that out of the way right off the bat. I've had a lot of questions come up, and they're like, well, I can't do this in the app, and I can't do that in the app. And that's because you're not supposed to. right? So this is an app that was built for our consumers, for use by our consumers. Now, are we tied to this app? We can be, and that's what we're going to work through today. So first things first, if you have not personally downloaded the consumer app to your phone, I would love for you to do that at some point today. You can even do it during this call if you would like. That being said, know that when it comes time for the first time that you have downloaded the app, Casey, you're going to go to the App Store, look for KW Realty. It's red letters, white background. When you go to sign in, if it is the first time that you have downloaded the new app, you're going to have to create an account. You cannot utilize your agent account, right? So there is no, this is a consumer app and you are acting as a consumer in the downloading of and creating an account on the consumer app. So if it's your first time, you've never downloaded it, it's your first time kind of getting in, create an account, put your email, put your password in, right? And you will have then created a brand new account on your own agent app. Next, and I'm going to show you, so we're going to move the share into, we're going to stop that share, we're going to move the share into my phone, and we're going to walk through what it looks like. So when you first see the, hang on. You get really good at learning how to switch back and forth from your phone and your computer when you do this enough times. So, all right, cancel that, and there we go. All right, so this is the consumer app when you first come in. Now, if this is your first time logging into the app, just like a consumer would if they went to the App Store and downloaded it, this app is not branded to anyone as an agent. I'm going to show you later ways for you to send out emails, to send texts, to create social media campaigns that will share your specific app link with your consumers so that it does come in as branded. But know that if they go straight to the Google Play Store, straight to the App Store like you guys are doing, then it's not going to show up as branded. How do you know if this app has been branded to an agent? Well, the first thing is, and one important notification, if you look down in the bottom right-hand corner of your app and you see a button that says YOU instead of MORE, so you instead of more, you need to update your app. So the original version of this new consumer app used to say you in the bottom right and now says more. You can now see at the very top that my app is actually branded, and this was testing with another agent in Southwest Texas here, to Rhonda Pullman. So first things first, the old version of the new app used to have, it just said my agent, and it would have your name. It didn't have a lot of branding there at the top. So you can easily see that the agent branding has been improved. So you've got your headshot, you've got your agent name, you've got your license number. You can easily click on view profile, and then you can see this information is all pulled from your marketing profile. Okay, so all pulled from your marketing profile. Now, here's the reality. I was testing with Rhonda, and yet I want to be my own agent. So if I do want to select a new agent, I can click on View Profile, and then I can come down and I can click on Remove Agent, which says, hey, that's going to remove Rhonda as your agent if that's what you want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Remove. And now this is an unbranded app. So you can see this app right now has not been branded to an actual agent. Let's talk about how the consumer would brand it. Just like you will, you're going to click on Find an Agent. And here's what you're going to do. You can either search by your name, or obviously you can start searching by locations. Now I'm in Katy, Texas, so I could start searching for Katy. You can see there's all a bunch of agents with the name Katy, but then you'll see down here, there's the bottom city. Now let me ask you this, okay? These are going to be people that I don't know. And yet let's look at this screen right now. Which of the agents on this screen, you can throw it in the chat, or Lindsay, if you want to unmute yourself, give us your feedback. On this screen, which one of those agents would you be more likely to do business with?
Vince.
Yeah, Chef Greg, Emily, Jennifer, they're all saying the same thing. I want to do business with Vince. Why?
I can see his picture. He looks friendly.
I can make a connection with Vince. I know what he looks like. One's got a great smile, right? Good looking smile, Vince. And I can tell that he's gone through the trouble of at least updating his profile to have his headshot. For the rest of those people, and that could be any of the rest of these people, right, with the gray circles, I don't know who they are. I'm not even sure if they're actually in real estate anymore, right? Lindsay, as a side note, I will say that there's a market center here in the Katy area that when they do the marketing profile for their agents, If they don't have a headshot, they automatically put a KW logo. So not saying that you guys have to do that, and yet that is one reason why you see so many KW logos.
Yeah, that's a Scott Leroy thing.
Oh, so maybe that's a Scott Leroy thing. There you go. Perfect. So, first things first, if you haven't, go into your Connect or your Command, both your Command and your Connect marketing profiles, and update your headshot. Guys, update your profile, because you can see if I'm just looking for an agent in Katy, now I don't know any of these people, I know Mary, so I'll pick on Mary. So I can choose Mary and I can scroll through and I can say, okay, cool, Mary's got designation, she's got her phone number, she's got a full about me, right? I can see information about her. Okay, great. Like, this is someone I can make a connection with. However, let's be real, if we come back to one of these agents, don't know Paula, we'll just kind of pick on Paula. Well, she doesn't have a whole lot of information in here. She's got, you know, the Y4C2Ts, but I think that defaults to having that included if you don't have anything else. So if you want consumers to make a connection with you as an agent, make sure that you fill out your profile, you put in your headshot. Now I can start searching for my name. You can see I can find myself as an agent. I'll go ahead and look at it. Okay, is this the Marty Miller that I want to connect to as a consumer? I can come down to the very bottom, and you're going to have to train your consumers. If the app wasn't branded to them, this is the way to brand it to you. They're going to click on Get in Touch, and it says this designates Marty as your new agent. Do you want to confirm that? I'll say, yep, let's confirm it. And now you can see I am now tied to this consumer as their agent, and I can go all the way back out, and there I am at the top of their app as their branded agent. Okay, so just want to make sure that we walk through what the process is of actually branding the app, for the consumer to brand the app. If for any reason you're talking to them, you can even say, a lot of times if you're at an appointment, right now virtually, it may be a little different. You may have to be like, okay, you see this button, show them your actual phone. But in the future, when you're sitting with them, tell them, hey, I'd like you to download my app real quick. Right? And they can literally do it right there at the table. Like, okay, we'll do that. No, go ahead and pull your phone out. I just want to make sure there's no issues, and have them do it right then and there at the table. And you can make sure that that bar is there with your profile photo. That way, you know the app has been branded to you. And then you can do a lot of the other features that we're going to talk about today. So let's dive into the app itself a little bit. Some cool things for the consumer to be able to do in the app. And it's important that you guys know as well, right? So that you know, all right, what's so cool about this app? Well, I mean, there's a bunch of real estate apps out there, and we know that your consumers may be using one or many of the others. Why would they want to be using your app? Okay, so first, let's talk about key locations. Lindsay, is there anywhere you've ever wanted to live near a major landmark or a major area that you would just be like, yeah, it'd be really cool to live close to that?
In Austin or anywhere in the United States?
Well, Lindsay, let's not just stick to Austin. Let's go US wide, nationwide, anywhere you'd want to be.
Let's see, I've always wanted to live near a beach, so let's just call it like somewhere near the Santa Barbara Boardwalk. What's it called? The Santa Monica Pier?
Santa Monica Pier. Well, I happen to spell it right there. Santa Monica Pier, that's what you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's search. Is that the Santa Monica Pier that you'd like to live near?
Ooh, yeah.
Well, we're both gonna need raises to make that happen for you, unless you got
a five-year plan.
Yeah, it's the 5-year plan. And yet, here you can see I didn't put in an address, I didn't put in a city, I didn't put in a state. I literally just said, hey, I want to live near the Santa Monica Pier based upon what Lindsay talked about. Lindsay, did you and I discuss this before the call?
No, we did not.
No, right? Let's say I'm a wine guy, Lindsay. I would love to live near Silver Oak Winery. Okay, so looks like I'm going to need a raise too, because you can see, all right, we got 860,000 and 6.25 million, but it zoomed in on where Silver Oak Winery is, and I didn't put in the address, I didn't put in a state, I didn't put in a city, right? So that's one thing that the app has, and we call it key location search. They can put in anything in here, guys, like let's just say Reliant Stadium. I volunteer for the Houston Rodeo. It'd be nice, at least for those, 3 weeks of the year, to live within walking distance, to catch my drift, and sure enough, there is Reliant Stadium right there in the middle of the screen. So this is one of the ways that your consumer can search if they don't know the name of the neighborhood. They don't even know the names of the street. They may not even be sure what city it's in, but they're like, yeah, I want to live near that. Then they can search by key location. What about neighborhoods? Lindsay, what's a popular neighborhood there in Austin?
Oak Hill.
Oak Hill. All right, so I want to search for Oak Hill. So you can see if I scroll down, here are some neighborhoods that start to pop up, right? So Oak Hill, I can even put Oak Hill, Austin. Let's try this. And search. And is that Oak Hill?
It sure is.
Right, so there is the neighborhood that we can search by and see, okay, great, now I can zoom in, okay, and look what happens when I start to zoom in. I've got Legend Oaks 2, Village of Western Oaks, Beckett Meadows, Western Oaks, right, and if I zoom in even closer, you can see that the neighborhoods all start to kind of pop up. So the neighborhood searches, that is something that's unique to the Keller Williams app. And that's through our exclusive partnership with Nextdoor. Each one of these blue boundaries represents a particular neighborhood. And when you're on the map, you can start to zoom in and you'll see that the neighborhoods start to pop up. Now, let's just say, I don't know, I've never been to the trails of Oak Hill, but I'd like to know more about that neighborhood. You can train your consumer that they can actually click on that description of the neighborhood, the name of the neighborhood, and now all of a sudden, they're going to get information about what locals say about the neighborhood. They're going to have commute times, and I'm going to show you how you can add these commute times in just a second with regards to places that you want to know the commute from. They can see the nearby schools and what the scores are. How often are we taught? Don't give them information about the schools, just give them the source of information about the schools. Well, now your consumer app can actually be that source. And then they can go through and they can see if there's any local restaurants or grocery stores, nightlife, cafe. Now, obviously, we know a lot of times in Houston, Austin, same way, right? That typically you're going to say, oh, well, there's not a, this is a master planned area. These are all neighborhoods, right? But think about like Manhattan. You might have a coffee store next to, you know, a 4-story townhome next to a disco club, right? Never know. So those would also all show up under that section. Great way for them to dive in and get to know a little bit about the neighborhoods as well. Now, obviously, that's all fancy and fine and well, and yet they do have the ability to do just the good old-fashioned home search, right? How do I actually just search for a house? Well, first of all, let me ask you this. How many of you, let's do a show of hands, right? Raise your hand if you're like me. You're driving around and all of a sudden you see a house for sale. It's got a for sale sign in the yard, it's not yours, and you want to know how much it costs. Right? How many of you do that? Am I the only one? Please tell me I'm not the only one because I'm embarrassed. All right, cool. A lot of hands going up. You're just like, I just want to know. I have no interest in buying that house, but I just want to know what it's listed for, right? We're curious. We're nosy. We're agents, but guess what? Consumers do that too. And if you want to train your consumers to say, hey, if you ever want to know houses for sale where you are right now, if you see that triangle in the top right-hand corner of the screen, it's pointed slightly cockeyed to the left, I can click on that and it's going to zoom in on my current location. So where I stand right now, based upon my phone's GPS, you can see there I am. So if I were walking down the street and I get down here to Village Circle and I see that this house is for sale, I could easily see on the map, okay, it's listed at 177. Now let me click on it and I can start getting information about the actual property. I can see a few pictures that they've posted. I can start seeing the information about the property. We'll dive into that just a little bit further. Now, if they say, hey, I want to do a standard property search, I want to look for a house within, they can click on price and say, okay, well, we're not quite in the millions yet. Maybe we're looking under 500, but more than 300. Okay, it's got to have at least 4 bedrooms. Sorry, I got fat fingers, guys. It's got to have at least 4 bedrooms, so 4 plus. I can click on property type. I'd like it to be a single family house. I can click on more, and then I can say, well, let's see, let's scroll down. I'm about to have 3 girls plus my wife. This bad boy's got to have at least 3 bathrooms. You got to understand that, right? And any of the following areas, right? The living area of the house, the lot size. It'd be really nice to have, I don't know, let's just say at least an acre. All right, and now I can click on done. And then you can see no results were found in this little square that I'm looking in. But as I zoom out, I can start to see, okay, well, here are some properties that pop up. Now, here's the reality. Katie, there's not a lot of acreage homes. But you can see there's 2 there on the screen. And if I went back in and said, all right, it looks like I'm not going to get that 1 acre lot that I'm looking for, I can take that out, click on done, and now I'm going to get a lot more homes that are available, right? They're just not on acre-sized lots. So here are all the different ways that they can actually see properties for sale. Now, if I like this search, this is a search that I would probably do very regularly, meaning that I already know that I'm going to be searching for a house between 300 and 500, 4 beds, 3+ baths, single family. I can click on the ribbon at the top right corner that says save. Does everybody see that? If I click on save, I can now name this search, because this is probably a search that I'm going to come back to reference very often. So I'm going to say, Katie area home search. Hope if I could spell it correctly. There we go. And now this is a search that I can now easily go back and reference. And I'm going to show you where you do that in the app in just a second. But then they don't have to go back through and hit all of those other buttons. They can just reference that exact search later on. Now, let's say as I start to do this search, I realize, you know what? I don't want to live kind of to the north side. I don't want to live way far west. I want to live, you know, there's this little area with all these little lakes that I was driving by the other day, and it was such a cute little area. Oh, here it is on the map. You know what? I would like to live in this little area right about here. Everybody see what I just did? All right, I clicked on the little finger that said draw, and I can actually outline. Let's say, oh, well, maybe I didn't get it all. I didn't realize there were some lakes on the other side. So I'm going to click on draw again, and I can literally say, this is the area that I want to look at houses in. And now it's looking for 300 to 500, 4+ beds, single family, 3 bathrooms in that area. So I can now see, all right, cool. So there's one listed for 450, 4 beds, 3.5 baths. And I can start getting more information. I can actually save this as a second search. And maybe this is just specifically, I don't even know what neighborhood this is. Let's see. This is my 7 Meadows search. So the client really has the ability to get real granular on where they're looking by drawing the specific area that they want to be on. And obviously that can be a small area. I could come out here and say, hey, I'm pretty sure that I know the school district for a certain elementary is down this road, then down this road, then back this road, then across here, and then up here, and they have that little pocket on the other side. All right, great. That's the area that I want to search for as well. So you can see a variety of use cases for the consumer to create their own search using the actual draw function. Now, how many of you have ever gone on a listing appointment and you got to the house? Let's see, I'm gonna lower everybody's hands. If you had a question, sorry, you can raise it again if you have another question. I'm gonna lower all your hands. How many of you have gone on a listing appointment, you got to the house and you realized, whoops, would have been nice to know that the house back to that, right? Whether it back to a car wash, whether it back to a gas station, whether it back to, you were like, man, I should have done some research because that CMA just got a little bit more complicated, right? So here is one of the functions that this actual app has that I think is one of the coolest things, because I'll tell you, because I've done that, right? Wish that I would have done the research. I started using, for my listing appointments, I would use Google Earth. And I would pull up Google Earth on my computer and I would type in the address and then I would zoom in. But there were times where I would forget and I'm like, oh crud, I should have done that. Well, if I come into more, right? So I clicked on the more button here at the top right-hand corner. I clicked on more, and then I'm gonna click on map. And I'm gonna say, you know what? I don't want my map type to be the boring old just lines and streets. I want the satellite view. And then I'm gonna click on done. Now watch what happens to my map, right? Remember that $450,000 house? Is it on the water or is it not? I don't know. Let's see. So I'm just gonna keep on zooming in, right? And I can say, okay, well, no wonder it's only 450,000 because it's not on the water. It does back to a little green belt. That's nice. However, this looks like it might be a pretty busy street going up and down here. So that's just one more option that you have, that you can zoom in and say, okay, well, where's the listing? Where's the address, right? Let's just, for kicks and grins, 2422 Fawn Lake Circle. All right, so you're gonna get transported now into, that's not on Lake Circle. Whoops, hang on. 2422. So you could basically put in the address where you're headed and actually be able to zoom in. I don't know why it keeps pulling that one up. Oh, it's probably because we have it set for that little, oh, I need to erase my drawing. Now we've got it. All right. So bottom line though, you can come in on the satellite view at any point and say, okay, well, this is the listing. And this can work for buyers too, guys. If you're showing homes and you want to kind of have a heads up before you go on the showing, you can pull it up in the consumer app just like they can and be like, okay, cool. Well, the good news is they have no rear neighbors. The bad news is that commercial land? Is that residential land? Are they going to end up building an apartment complex right behind that house if I help these clients buy this property? All right, so more information that you would want to do, kind of detailing your search. So that's the map type. And if I ever want to go back and say, hey, I don't really like the satellite view, I'll just click on more again, then click on map, and then click on default and done, and I'm back to my street views. So you guys can work with your consumers and show them, hey, this is just one more thing, because sometimes it's important for me to know, I'm sure it's important for you to know, hey, what's actually behind the house, next to the house. You can zoom in and kind of see a satellite view from the last time that satellite came through and posted it. So let's start looking at an actual listing. Let's just choose a listing. So here's that $400,000 listing. It pulls up. Here it is on Avenue A. I can slowly scroll up. This is what I'm doing. So you can see it at the bottom. If I click and then slowly drag this towards the top of the screen, I get it to take up my entire phone. Now I can swipe left at the very top, and I can go through all of the photos that have been provided on the MLS from the agent. As I come down, I can see, okay, there's the price. Just so you know, that white space between the price and the address, occasionally you will see an alert for a recent price decrease. It'll actually tell you how much it's come down. I believe that's within the last 30 days. You're also going to see bedrooms, bathrooms, and square footage. And then I've got an option bar. The consumer can do 3 things. Obviously, if I really like this house, I can say, yes, I want to save this one. When I click on save, what happens is it says, okay, do you want to save this to a collection? And I can say, yes, I'd like to actually save this collection. Does the app show survey boundaries on a lot? No, Michelle, it's not that detailed. So I can actually say, yes, I want to save this property to this collection, and click on Marty's favorites. And now that property will be part of my collection. Okay, so the save button right here at the top left-hand corner of the screen, right in the middle, save, and then choose which collection you want to add to. Now, how many of you have searched for a house in a particular neighborhood, and every day or every 2 days, or some of you even twice a day, you're going on the MLS to see if anything new has popped up? And you got to look at the same 6 homes that you've looked at for the last 10 days. Well, the cool thing about the KW app is I can hide this listing. If I don't want this listing to show up anymore, I can click on that button in the middle where it says hide, and you'll see now it's lit up red. Do you see how it says red next to hide? That means that this listing is no longer going to show up on the map when I search for properties in this area. I can unhide it just by clicking the button again, and now you can see instead of being red, it's now back to being black. Finally, I can click on share. So let's just say I'm sitting at the house and I'm like, that's a nice house. Maybe I want to send that to my wife. I can send that via quick text. I can send it via mail. You can see you could post it on Facebook. I mean, you've got all these other different options. If you want to share it with maybe your wife, significant, your partner, whoever it is, you can see you can just click on that, and then it'll automatically share that listing with your significant or whoever you're looking to share that with. Next, you have the opportunity to provide information to your clients about Keller Mortgage or Keller Covered. So a quick and easy way without you having to do anything to alert your consumers about the amazing programs that we have through Keller Williams with regards to Keller Mortgage and Keller Covered. You can see the description of the property. And then it says courtesy Keller Williams Realty, and the source is Houston Association of Realtors. Let me ask you this in the chat. What agent listed this screen? Anybody? What agent? Whose listing is this?
It doesn't say.
Oh my gosh. Lindsay, you mean it doesn't actually have another agent's name on this app?
No, it just says Keller Williams Realty.
So if they wanted to know more about this property, who would they have to contact?
They'd have to ask you, their agent.
Ah, guys, this is a big thing. Some of your consumers are using apps that will list the listing agent's name or their phone number, worse yet, right? Why would you put your consumer on an app where they can easily then call someone else, right? Oh, let me introduce you to Zillow or Redfin or any of those other agents, right? So this is why you want to make sure that they're using your app, because guys, it's branded to you. And if they have a question, they're clicking on ask your agent, which comes to you as compared to asking the preferred agent or the listing agent or whatever it may be. Okay, so a great way for you to make sure that the hard work that you put in into turning that contact into a client comes back to you when they're looking at listings. Home details, that's pretty standard. So you're going to see the details of the house. You can click on see more information there. Now, earlier we explored the neighborhood from the map, but if I didn't know about that feature or I didn't choose that feature, I can actually look at the neighborhood that has been assigned to this listing, and I can click on Explore at the very top there, the black button. And it's going to take me into a page about this specific neighborhood, which we just looked at earlier. It's going to show you a market snapshot. It's going to show you what locals say. And then it's going to show you commute times. How many of you, show of hands, have had a client that has said, hey, we need a house, but it's got to be within a 10-minute driving distance of X, or a 5-minute walk from Y, or as long as it's 20 minutes to the nearest Trader Joe's, we're good, or it's got to be within 30-minute drive of Lifetime Fitness, or whatever it is, right? So here's the cool thing: you can train your consumers to put in their own places. So I'm going to come back out of the listing here, and I'm going to go into the More button at the bottom right. Okay, so we're going back into the More menu, bottom right-hand corner. And now I can go into My Account, which is the second option down. And you can see the third option from there is called Places. So I've got 3 places listed here. Now let's say, maybe I don't really care about how far a drive it is from KWRI, because I know that's going to be about an hour, hour and a half anyways. And it would be nice to know, how close am I to a Lifetime Fitness? So let's just say I want to add another place. I want to start typing in Lifetime Fitness. It's going to give me a list there. Say, okay, great. The Lifetime Fitness that I like to go to is the one on Cinco Ranch Boulevard. So I'm going to select that bottom one. And now you can see at the very bottom, that becomes another one of my places. Think about the places your consumers are going to want to live near: their work, right? Their kids' school, the grocery store they like to favorite, the church that they like to go to. Maybe it's their mom's address. They want to live close to mom or dad or whoever that might be. These are all examples of places that your consumer can add to their app. And then when we're in that listing, they can actually scroll down in the listing. We're going to go back to that spot that we were just at. And here is places. Now look, all of a sudden, commute time. Everybody see Lifetime Fitness? I now know that it is a 15-minute drive. If I go to the gym every day or every other day or whatever, right, once a month, then I know that in order to get from the house to the gym, it's going to take me 15 minutes. Now, maybe, I know you Austin people, you like to ride your bikes. I ride a bike that goes nowhere. Right? I have a Peloton and I love it. And yet, right, I'm not riding outside. But some of you Austin guys, you love riding your bikes. So I could click on biking and say, hey, because I want to add fitness to my fitness, I could take a 39-minute bike ride from the house to Lifetime Fitness. And then if I'm a real glutton for punishment and I'm just like, yeah, let's walk it, I can click on walking and see that it would take me 2 hours and 21 minutes to walk to Lifetime from the house. So these are all different ways that the consumer can add information to their app and then get information back. The ability to say, okay, we have to be within a 10-minute walking distance of this church. Okay, great. Let me show you how you can add that as a place. And then you can see, as you start to look at listings near your church, how long the walk will be, whatever that looks like. If you scroll down a little bit more information, here is the schools that are near this listing, and you can click on see more, and it's going to give you the elementary, the junior high, the high school, and then you got information if there are any private schools nearby. It's going to list those private schools, and that's all provided by Pitney Bowes. So you don't have to worry about you providing that information. The app is actually providing that information for you. At the very bottom, you can see if there are any upcoming open houses. And then you have the ability for the agent to actually, excuse me, the consumer to calculate what their mortgage payment might be. And so they can decide, okay, what type of loan, what's my down payment? And then you can see it starts to factor in what the actual monthly payment might be. Looks like we've got a couple of questions. And guys, if you had questions earlier and I lowered your hand, my apology, feel free to raise them right now. But it looks like Roberts has a question, or Robert S, whichever way it is. What's your question? Oh, sorry, Robert, hang on, buddy. There you go. Now you should be able to unmute yourself.
Sorry, Kelsey answered that already. I forgot to lower my hand, sorry.
Okay, cool, no worries. Eric, it looks like you also put your question in the Q&A. Directions don't seem to work. Distance appears to be off. I don't know. Oh, he said cancel his. Okay. Yeah, everything that I've seen is pretty close. Now, me riding my bike and you riding your bike, you might get there a lot faster, right? But me walking versus you walking, maybe I get there faster. I don't know. So these are all things that you can, you know, take with a somewhat of a grain of salt. But that being said, it's probably a lot better than any other app that they are using. You know what I mean? So just some.
Marty, I just want to double check really quick. The app shows only active and contingent, right? No pending.
It depends. So it defaults to only active. However, I can come in and say, hey, I don't know why you would want to do this, but you can say listing type, and then you could actually put pending if you wanted to know what was pending. I don't know why you would want to look for properties that were already pending, but it's there in case you wanted to know. Maybe you're a real glutton for punishment. You just want to know, like, hey, break my heart over and over again. Let me see all the pending properties, right? So you can see there's other listing types there as available. Coming soon, new construction, foreclosures, and short sale. I will say that the foreclosures and short sale, I've seen some issues there. No, Michelle, it's not quite set up for leases. They're working on that as we speak. All right, so yeah, that's all for the actual searching of the property. Let's see a couple other questions. Ryan's going to teach you, Lindsay, on how to do sharing your screen. Daniel, monthly payment looks like P&I. I believe that is correct. Yes, in the calculator, it's just going to be P&I because obviously tax rate, insurance is going to depend on the provider and the location of the property itself. Cool. All right, so we are going to move on into the.
We have a couple questions about leases, about if you can see leases on this app or just homes, and how you would filter for just leases.
Yeah, right now it is not set up to search for leases. It is set up strictly for properties for sale. So they are working on that as we speak. It's just another round of MLS mapping because every MLS has a little bit different way of how they handle leases. And so that's the next setup. Tom, if I was searching for properties in this area every day, and I'm like, yeah, this is not one I want to look at again, please don't ever show it to me again. It's too expensive, it's too big, it's too small, it's too ugly, whatever. I could click on hide. And then when I come back to search that area, you can see how it's grayed out. That means that that listing would not be shown to me. It's one that I've hidden. So there you go.
Can you show them one more time where to set up places? Angela is asking where you set up your places.
Sure. So it's the more button at the bottom right-hand corner. We're going to click on more. I'm going to go into my account, the second option down. And then I'm going to choose places. And then you can see I've got my places. I believe it's a limit of 3, possibly 4, in order to see the actual places. So you can't have like 26 places and the app just showed you all of the different ones. Kristen, I just started typing in the neighborhood. Instead of typing in the actual address, I just started up here and I said, okay, I want to start searching for, I've heard Cinco Ranch is a nice area to be in Katy. So let me start searching for Cinco Ranch. And then you can see at the bottom here are all the different neighborhoods that are named Cinco Ranch or some version of Cinco Ranch in there.
And guys, also put your questions in the Q&A as opposed to the chat. It's easier for us to catch them. We might miss them in the chat, but if they come in as questions, I can see them and then close them as we answer them. So Lucia says, is this updated in real time? I believe it's every 12 minutes. Is that right, Marty?
I don't like to make I wouldn't give you a specific time, because if you tell your consumer 12 minutes and you have that consumer, you know that consumer that has the stopwatch, and it says, well, it's been 13 minutes. What's up, Lucia? Right? So I would say it updates regularly. At worst, it's probably daily. But I think that it is significantly quicker than that. But I think most consumers are going to be okay with a daily update as compared to like a 12-minute or 15-minute update.
Perfect. And then Robert, Robert was asking about sharing what they like in the app. How can I see what they've liked? And I told Robert to have them add you as a co-buyer. And he's asking, I think, for a script, because they didn't understand why they should have to do that. So what's your recommended script, Marty, for adding the agent?
Yeah. So I've got some exciting announcements that are coming very, very soon that I'm going to share with you towards the end of this presentation about some of the visibility you're going to have into your consumers' activities when they're on the app.
Awesome, awesome.
Yep.
We got a few more coming in.
They're making a lot better, so hopefully you stick around for that.
Angela, report the aesthetic issues to me. You can screenshot those and send them to me. I'll take care of that. Let's see, Maria, what happened to our formal mobile app that we sent to our clients before this new one? My old app had the ability to search leases. Is that app still? Do you want to take these, Marty, or do you want me to?
Yeah, so the old app is slowly being updated, right? How many of you have looked down at an app on your phone and all of a sudden the icon looks slightly different? And you're like, oh, I didn't realize that was happening. Now, your consumer is going to have auto update kind of turned on their phone, or they'll get a notification, not a notification. They can go into the App Store and see that they have to update their app. And when they do, it'll be transitioned to the new version. That being said, if you have people that are ready to see the new version right now, or you want them on the new version right now, my recommendation is that you just go ahead and have them delete their old app and then send them the branded link for your new app, and then have them download that, so that way they have the new version of your app on their phone.
Looks like it is showing for Rand. Christy says she's able to toggle it, and I just found it too.
Oh, then I missed that screen. I haven't actually used it on Tenant. So.
Me too. So awesome. So it's doing that. Estella, if it says more, no, Marty hasn't gotten to the part yet about showing how to send out your branded link. So that's coming, but you'll know it's branded if once you click more, it has an agent's name at the very top. That's how you know if it's branded or not.
Yep. So on this screen, you know it's yours if your branding is on it. And yes, they do have to sign it. Now they can use it without signing in, but they're going to have a completely different experience, meaning that none of the guide, the feed, their saved collections, none of that will be available to be seen if they are not actually signing in to their accounts. All right, so let's move into the guide. The guide is the middle button on your app. You'll see it down there at the bottom. And if you click on it, you can see there are two guides. There's a buying guide and there's a selling guide. Here's the setup. Essentially, what happens when I work with you as a buyer, and what happens when I work with you as a seller? So those are the questions, right? So you can see on this guide, I can scroll down and I can say, okay, first we're going to start our search with Marty, then we're going to get approved with our lender, we're going to tour some homes, we're going to make an offer, execute home inspection, home insurance, home warranty, and then we're going to close. I can tap on any one of these and see that there's actually additional information. So there's even more info on, okay, well, here's what we need to be looking for, and how do I search on your app, right? And they can then at the bottom click on, well, what's my next step? Okay, so it takes them into the get pre-approved, and then I can go into touring homes. And if I believe that we have completed that step, I can mark the step myself as a consumer as completed. And then when I come back, you'll see the check mark next to my name, right? So here's start your search, and boom, there the check mark's already checked off, meaning we've done that. Now, the opposite side is that I can come in on my account. Let me get into command real quick with you guys. And I have the ability, first of all, let's talk about the guide in general. Is this the process you work with your consumers? Is this the entire process? Is there anything that you don't do, or is there anything that you do that's not actually on this list? So your first piece of homework is, I should probably go through this guide. Like, is this what it's like to work with me? Are there things on this list that maybe I don't do? Are there a few things that, you know what, I actually do some things before those things, right? So you can see, right, on the listing side, well, you're gonna need to be looking at your, sorry, I stopped sharing my phone, but if you would click on the listing side, you can see the first step is actually called showing your home. I think the description is really well done. However, I don't think that the headline is as well done, because I think it should probably say something to the effect of preparing your home for showings or whatever that may look like, right? So you can see on my screen, I'm now in command. I went down to the consumer applets. This is almost last one. It has the little circle icon on the web page. That's the consumer applet. And then I clicked on Guide Builder, the Guide Builder tab here at the top. Now you can see, here's the buyer's guide, and here's the seller's guide. If I decide, hey, you know what, there's actually maybe a step that's missing, or I want to create a step, add a step, remove a step, edit a step, I can click on the pencil, and here I have, there's the steps, showing your home, review offers, inspection, appraisal, and close. Guys, here's the deal. The sellers already think we get paid too much, right? They're like, we're paying you 6% to do 5 steps. We know that you're doing a whole lot more steps. And I would recommend that you come in here and maybe you detail them a little bit more. You can add additional steps. You can take some of these steps and maybe split them out into additional steps so you have more things to actually check off. So when I click on this actual step, you can see I can change this image. Do you guys have any houses that look like this in Austin? Because I know there's no houses that look like this in Katy. So if I'm creating a guide for people that I work with in the Katy area, maybe I go through and update the photos of the homes, because if someone gets this, they're like, where are we moving to? Palm Beach? Like, didn't know we were heading to Florida. So you can actually change the image that shows in the card. Showing your home is the name of the card title. I can come in and actually change the card title name. This little kind of teaser text here is what's known as the subtitle. So I can come in and change the subtitle. And then when I actually click on the card, the information that pops up is known as the workspace text. And you can see here's all of the workspace text down here. So if I choose that I'm going to maybe split this out into a few different steps, maybe I'll cut some out of this and put it into the next, etc. So you've got a couple of different options that you guys can have to either edit a step, add a step, right, change a step, and go through and kind of make that guide your own so that it is now a step. Right here it is at the bottom to add a step. It is the guide that is your exact process. So that way you have the power now when you come into someone's opportunity, and a lot of you probably don't even know that this step actually exists or what it's for, but when we're in, sorry, hang on real quick, let me make sure I'm in the right opportunity. When I create an opportunity for a contact that has downloaded my app, when I'm in the actual opportunity, so I went a little fast, but here's the Cultivate pipeline. Here's one of my opportunities that I've created in that pipeline. So I'm going to click on that opportunity card, and then I'm going to come back up here to the top where it says Seller Profile. Once I click on this tab, you can then see, okay, Elena has actually registered on my app. She's registered with the consumer platform. Because she's registered, I can actually check off things that are happening in the guide. I can click on Manage Guide and can say, hey, all right, we're actually made it all the way through appraisal. The appraisal just came in. I sent her an email saying, congratulations, we made value, we're good to go. Now all we have to do is get clear to close and we should be, pretty good. I'll let you know as the lenders continue to work on that. I could click on Completed and then Save Changes. And on Elena's version of the app, she's now going to have a checkbox next to that step. The reverse is also true. If Elena's playing on the app and she's, yep, pretty sure we already got the appraisal in, and she checks this off and I see that, I can go in and say, actually, we haven't gotten the appraisal yet. And I can uncheck it and save the changes. And I can do this for any opportunity as long as the contact associated with the opportunity has downloaded my app. And you need to make sure that it is the same email. So the email that they use to register for the app is the email that you have in the contact card. Otherwise, the app and the platform don't communicate. It doesn't know that they're actually your Elena because they're like, well, that's not the email you have for her. an email is typically kind of the identifying, it's like the social security number, if you will, right? So that's what it looks like to be able to move people through the guide. My advice for all of you, many of you probably didn't even know the guide existed or weren't familiar with it, spend some time on your app. Go through the actual guide and say, okay, cool, yeah, we do that. No, we don't do that, right? So kind of figure out what works for you in your world, and then say, hey, I need to add a few things. I need to subtract a few things. What would I change about my actual guide? Build out those steps, change the photos, and decide, okay, cool, now this is the guide of working with Marty Miller as a buyer, working with Marty Miller as a seller, right? And then they're going to have the full experience. But here's the thing, guys, there's 180,000 people in Keller Williams that are agents. 175,600 of them, I don't know, I just made that number up. But you can imagine a whole lot of us have exactly the same guide. If you want to stand out and you want your app to stand out, then go in and make changes to this guide. It's one of the biggest ways that you can say, hey, you know what? Working with me is an experience, it's a process, and I want to make sure that you're updated every step of the way. So I've actually created a custom guide for you. It's available on our website and on your app, so that you can know what it's like to work with me as a seller, or what it's like to work with me as a buyer. By the way, as we complete each step, I'll be updating the app on your behalf. So if you ever want to know where we are with regards to the process, you can just merely look at your app and see what I've checked off as far as things that we have done. So it's a quick and easy way. Why does the Domino's Pizza Tracker so smart? Why is Uber such a great app? Because, right, we want to know where the pizza is. I want to know where my driver is. The consumer wants to know, where are we with regards to this transaction? And if you build out this guide appropriately with the appropriate steps, and you're walking them through, right? It's all for naught if you're not going to actually walk through the opportunity and check them off as you do these items. So make sure that you're doing that second step as well. Any questions on the buying and selling guide, or how I go through and change my card image, title, subtitle, workspace text, any of that kind of situation? Let me know if you have any questions. Lindsay, do you have anything to throw in on this section?
I'm just going to say, because I'm getting a lot of questions kind of offline in my email, and just from agents saying, oh, I've updated this picture and it's not showing yet, or I've changed this information and it's not consistent. So if you're experiencing one of those bugs or something in particular, send me a screenshot of where you've updated that, and then also a screenshot of where it's not updating in your app, so I can get that to tech support and let them know that those two things aren't consistent. So you're not doing anything wrong. It's not user error. It is something that we need to know about so we can get that fixed for you.
Perfect. Michelle, with regards to the photos, you've got a couple of different options. So you can actually come into designs if you choose to. And there's an entire library. It doesn't matter what asset you create. You can kind of come in here and say, hey, I want to create this asset. This is how I would do it if I was looking for royalty-free, royalty-free and copyright-free images. You could click on company, and you can see here is a ton of different. I mean, as you
we can't see your screen, Marty. We're seeing your phone still.
Sorry, just kidding. Like I said, you get really good at moving back and forth. All right, share screen and one. There we go. So what I did is I came into designs, and basically I clicked on images and then company. And you can see here's a ton of different images. Lifestyle, if I want pictures of the actual house, right? I can come back up, click on these three little dots. Here's house types. And now I start looking at, okay, this is probably still not a kind of house I have in the Katy area, right? So you can go through, and what I would do is I would just replace this main photo with one that you think, yeah, that's probably a good Katy house. And then I would take a screenshot of this image and then just crop it down so I have just this portion of it. Or you could come in and just delete everything else out if you wanted to. And then save this as an image on your phone as well. I mean, on your computer as well. And then add that in. So those are a couple of different options to learn. And there's a lot of sites online. I'm sure Lindsay can help you with that, but things like Shutterstock or those types of things as well. So several different ways. All right, so Eric is taking us into the next step of sharing your branded link. Don't want to save that change. So I want to show you a couple of different ways that you can actually share your link. First of all, you got to know what your link is in order to share it. Okay, so the first thing is you want to click on consumer. So that's second to last or possibly last one. And it's going to take you into the consumer applet here within command. And from there, you can go in and actually find your specific app URL and your text code. So it's going to give you the app link that you can actually send out to consumers. And then you can also say, hey, if you want to, you can text this code to this number. So I'm sorry, I went to guide builder. I need to click on site and app settings. So when I'm in the actual consumer applet, I would click on site and app settings, and then URLs is a tab that's in this setting. So again, site and app settings from any one of these pages in consumer, and then click on URLs. And towards the bottom, you're gonna have app URL. So this is my actual app URL. Or if they want to, they can text 877, they can text this code and 87778. Guys, just so you know, both of these, your code and your link, are case specific, case sensitive, whatever. Got to be capitalized if they're capitalized, got to be lowercase if they're not. So I have had that happen where people, instead of copying it, they're typing it out and they put the lowercase in. So occasionally that comes up as an issue. Also make sure if the consumers are typing in your app text code, that they know they have to type it in all caps in order for it to download on their phone. So a couple of different issues there that I've come across. So one, just knowing, okay, where's my app URL? Where is my actual text code? Now,
Marty, what should someone do? Sorry to interrupt. What should someone do? Because I know why Eric Copper is asking this. What should he do if he's using his app URL to send to clients and it's still not automatically branding to him, even when they download from his app URL?
Yeah, for sure. So a couple of different things. One, I would obviously start with you, and then Lindsay's going to send it to me, but do exactly what she just asked, because that's for me not to know, okay, so how did you share it, right? Did you share it via text? Did you share it via email? Did you share it via a smart plan? Did they click on a social post, right? So there's a lot of different ways. We're going to finish the other two in just a second for you to share your link. So send that to Lindsay. Here's how I shared it. Here's a screenshot of it, you know, what the circumstances were, and then we can dive into that. I would say that I would always verify anytime I sent out my link to anyone via any method. I would follow up just to make sure that it was the branded version, because people make mistakes. People fat finger a code. They hit, if it's not exactly this link or this code, then they will be taken to just download a non-branded app, and they would have to go through the process of linking it to you. So I would follow up with any client I was sending the app to, just saying, hey, maybe even take a screenshot of your app with your photo at the top and say, does yours look like this? And if it doesn't, then you can walk them through that process we did at the beginning of actually tying the app to you. So we talked about how to find your code and your URL. And this is if I just want to send one-offs, right? If I want to actually copy this and send it in an email or something along those lines. We also have a smart plan that is built specifically around sharing your app. If you come into the smart plan tab, the applet, it says fourth one down, looks like a little diploma. And then you click on library, you'll see these are all of the smart plans that Labs or KWRI have created on our behalf. You're looking for this promote my app smart plan. So if you click on view the steps, you can see it's a pretty simple plan. It sends them an email saying, hey, check out my app, here's how you download it. If they're on their phone, then they can click on the link and it'll actually take them to the App Store to download your branded version. If they're on the desktop, it'll take them to a site where they can put in their phone number, and then the system will send them a text to download the app that way. It's going to wait one day, and then it's going to send them a text that says, hey, just a reminder, it's Marty Miller with Summit Property Group. Did you see that a neighbor listed a home in the area? Download my brand new KW app to check it out. And then it's going to have your KW link. Then it's going to wait 3 more days and send another text. Did you know you can see all cumulative stats about the neighborhood in my new app? Let me know what you think. If I want to use this smart plan, I need to make sure that I click on add smart plan so that it adds this smart plan to my library. You'll see it when you click on my smart plans. If you've added it, then here's my promote my app smart plan. Small caveat, guys, if you like the plan but don't 100% like the text, at any time you can click on the pencil and then come in and say, okay, cool, here's email 1, then it delays, and then it's going to send this message. But maybe, hey, this is Marty Miller with KW. Maybe I don't want to, maybe I want Keller Williams, right? Whatever, I can change that. I can say, first of all, there's no question mark here. I'm a grammar police kind of guy, so maybe I put in a question mark. Maybe instead of saying, did you see that a neighbor listed? Wanted to find out if you'd like hyper local neighborhood data for your specific neighborhood. Whatever. Maybe it's wanted to know if you're looking for local open houses. Maybe it's I wanted to know if you're looking for, right? They're all different ways, but you can come in here and change this at any point. And then this KW app link is your actual app link. So when you send out this text, they're going to get a text that they can click on your actual app link. You can do the same exact thing with the second one, changing this text if you want. If you like the changes, you would just click on save, and it would actually save those changes for you. I'm not going to do that because I didn't want to make that change, but you can understand. So that's the second way, right? Manually, via my text code or my link, via a smart plan, which you guys just saw. And then you also have under campaigns. So if you come to the megaphone applet or the campaigns applet, the megaphone icon, you can click on campaigns. And then, yes, Melanie, it is your app link. That was the smart code. It was your specific app link. So I can actually do a social post. If I have a Facebook business page set up, I can click on social posts, and then I can come in and say, okay, cool. I want one that's going to be about my actual app. Well, here's the deal. All of these social posts down here, these are called quick posts. And if I don't want to think about it, Marty, I don't know. I'm not good at Facebook. I don't have any pretty pictures. I don't know what to say. Well, guess what? You can literally just click on one of these 2 arrows, and it's going to bring up a good looking picture. It's going to have information about the market. And then it's going to say, hey, go from house hunter to world traveler with my new app. Make it your go-to for neighborhood insights, lifestyle stats, and homes for sale across the country. Get it today at my specific link. So you're posting this to your Facebook business page, to your Instagram, to your Twitter, and they're getting your actual link ready to go. And I can come in, I can publish this immediately, not Instagram, excuse me, just Facebook and Twitter. Or I can schedule this. Guys, here's the reality. I could schedule this for tomorrow morning. I could schedule this one for Wednesday morning, right? Schedule it, looks good. Yep, I don't even have to worry about it. I could come in and click on shuffle. And now I've got a new one down here. I can click on this one. Yep, I want to send that one out on Thursday morning. And then I'm gonna do Friday morning and Saturday morning. Guys, there's the Facebook algorithm, so that you know, your Facebook fans on your business pages, they don't all see every ad or every post that you send, right? So you could literally, I mean, there's probably, I don't even know what the percentage is, but it's a very slim chance that all of your Facebook fans are seeing all of your posts. So over posting is sometimes better than under posting. If I click on shuffle, if I do it enough times, here in a second, you're actually going to get the app video. So you can click on this. I won't have the whole video playing for you, but this is a video. We know that videos are actually doing more, they're doing better, right, with regards to Facebook including it in the algorithm than actual static posts. So I would recommend that at least once a week you're posting the video about your app. And this is another quick post. I can just click on the arrow, and then there it is. Happier House Hunting is here. Now, if I want to change this text, guys, you can come in and change this if you don't like what it says. But it's easily going to post the actual app video, the consumer app video, to either your business page, your Twitter, or both. And you can publish that immediately right now, or again, schedule that out for another time. So if you're really looking to increase your app downloads, my recommendation is you spend, I don't know, 20 minutes a week, maybe one Monday morning or Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, I don't care when you do it, but schedule a time block on your calendar for social media app posts, and then come in here and decide which 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever that you want to send out to your business pages in 20 minutes, guys. You don't even have to create the post. It's all there for you. You're just deciding, do I want to make any slight tweaks to the text? And if so, what would I change? And then click on schedule post. When do I want this one to go out? Okay, let's make this one go out Friday morning at 9 a.m. And I could click on schedule post and boom, there's the one for Friday. And then I could do it again for Sunday and Tuesday and Thursday, whenever you got them going out. So do you need to link your Facebook URL and settings? Yes, Greg, you need to connect your business page. Okay, so these posts are not going out on your personal profile. You've got to have a business page built out, and that's where these are being posted, is on your business page. With the app campaign, if the client downloads the app after the initial email, yeah, how they do. It's one small caveat, the plan is only 6 days. So, but the question is, hey, if they get the email and they immediately download the app, does the system know not to text them? Unfortunately, there's no way for the system to know not to text them at this point. So they're still going to get the texts. You have a choice. If they respond to the first text and say, yep, I got it, cool, then you can go in and remove them from that smart plan so they don't get the second text. But up to you. You could also change the content of that second text to say, hey, I think we may have talked about this already, but I can't remember. Did you get the new text? Did you get my app? Right? And that way, if they did tell you, you're kind of building in a little bit of a grace to say, I'm pretty sure you already told me, but let me build out the text to look like I can't remember. Up to you, however you want to handle that as far as it goes. But right now, there is not a way to say, if they download, don't continue the smart plan. We don't have any if-then statements right now built into any of our smart plans. One last thing to show you guys, and then we'll do some Q&A and then maybe some more playing on the app if we choose to. But a lot of times people say, well, how do I know, right? How do I know if they've actually downloaded my app? So if you click on contacts, there is a filter. So I can come in here and click on filter. And then there is a filter called branded to me. Branded to me. Now, these are people that were not in your database previously. Okay, so I can click on saying, yes, I want to know people that are branded to me, and click on apply. And then these are all of the contacts that have downloaded my app that were not previously in my database. So if they're already previously in your database, then it's just going to have them down. They're just going to download the app. They're already in your database. And if they didn't have your app before, as soon as they create an account via your link, they are creating a new lead in your database. So you can see these are all the people that, like Elena and I were testing this for another program that I'm a part of, and she downloaded my app. She had downloaded actually she didn't download my app. She downloaded the static app because we wanted to test that. And then she actually branded it to me. As soon as she branded it to me, a new contact was created, and it's her email because this is the email she uses to log in to the app. So this is a great way if you're doing those social media posts, if you're maybe bulk texting your contacts, if you're, right, a variety of ways to get that out, then obviously you can make sure that it's getting a return on your efforts, excuse me, because you can see all of the new people that are coming into your database because they have actually downloaded your app. So exciting announcements. Right now, the reality is the amount of things that we can see the consumer doing in their app as of today is still a little bit limited. Okay, so here's Elena's contact record. So you can see that she came in and created an account back on April 2nd. Now, I've taught this class a few different times, and you can see I move her through the steps on the seller's guide, and I get a heads up that I have moved her through those steps. Now, if she were viewing homes, I could see that she was on the app, but as of today, I couldn't see exactly what she was viewing. That's going to change along with several other things that will come with the new link or the new app update. So let me get the right slide up and drag that over. Can you see my PowerPoint on your screen now?
Yes.
Whoops, no you can't. Now you can. All right. So with the new app update, which I don't like to give timelines, let's just say within the next 2 to 4 weeks. And so that way when it comes out, you guys will be excited. So you'll see that when a client does a search, you will see in their contact record what the search criteria was that they were looking for. If they register, you've already gotten that they've registered on the sites. If they view a neighborhood, you guys remember when we looked at those 2 different ways to view the neighborhood, whether it was from the map or from the specific listing, I could view the neighborhood data. Well, now you're going to be able to see that in the contact record, that they've actually viewed a neighborhood and what the link to the neighborhood was. If they create a collection we'll be able to see that collection that they are creating. And then you'll be able to actually see which properties are in that collection. So if it's called my favorites, you can see which properties are in the favorites. If they edit the collection, you'll be able to see that. If they view a specific listing, you'll be able to see that. Obviously, guide builder step completions, I'm not sure if that's available in y'all's world yet. Sometimes I'm under a feature flag, or I have some additional privileges as an RTT, but pretty soon you guys will be able to see that as well. So it's my belief that when we first built this app, we were really erring on consumer privacy with regards to the build out of the app. And then as we realized that a lot of other apps don't give the consumer much privacy at all, I think we started erring on the side of, okay, let's give agents the insight, and maybe the consumer loses a little bit of privacy. Here's the thing, the quickest way to lose the right to see all of this information is to call that client and say, hey, I see that you're on my app and you're looking at listings and you're looking at 123 Main Street, and I just wanted to know if you wanted to go view it. And they're sitting there saying, well, I didn't know you could see what else can you see? Are you in my phone? What's happening right now? Oh my gosh, right? And they start freaking out, and then they remove you from their app. So instead, you have to be careful about how you actually have those conversations. Hey, I was driving through this, driving to work, was driving through the neighborhoods, I was on my weekly bike ride, and I saw this house for sale that I thought would be a great fit for you. Based upon the conversations that we've had in the past, I know you're looking for a 4+ bedroom, 3+ bathroom with at least an acre lot from $300,000 to $600,000. And I think I might have found the one. It's listed at 123 Main Street. And what does the consumer say? Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I looked at that this morning. I actually added it to my favorites. And you say, wow, what a coincidence. When would you like to see it? Tonight or tomorrow morning? So just be careful, right? Unless you have built that out in the advance. You say, hey, when you favorite a property, I'll know about it. When you create a collection, I'll know about it. That way they're not surprised when you call them and say, hey, I saw you created a collection. So one of two ways that you can do it, but just be careful. If they don't know that you can see what they're doing, then I wouldn't come straight out and say, hey, I saw you were on your phone at 3 a.m. Must have been a rough night, but it looks like you were looking at properties, right? Like, just be careful about how you let them know that you can see it. Here's another exciting thing that's coming with that app update as of right now. Now, again, this is all grain of salt. You can see there's actually an icon on the screen that says, take this with a grain of salt, because we know that things sometimes change last minute. And yet, slated for the newest app release, which happens somewhere in that 2 to 4 week range, the consumer will actually be able to schedule a tour. So you can see they can click on the bottom left-hand corner of that app and then choose, yes, I would like to schedule a tour. All right, great. What's your availability? And do you want to do that in person, or do you want to do it via live video? And then you can see if they choose live video, then there's several options that they can select. When they go through this, you're going to get an alert in your command that says, hey, you've got a video tour request. Here's the property. Here are the times that the client is available for that request. Here are the platforms they would prefer you use. And then they've got some notes. And so you would be able to, now you're not going to do the tour within the app. You're going to go offline. You're going to make sure you've downloaded whatever they want to use, that you're familiar with how to use things like Zoom on your phone, or FaceTime, or WhatsApp, or whatever it may be, right? So I would recommend, if you're not familiar with how to do those types of apps, that you start getting real familiar with them, because the client will start requesting you do tours of certain properties via those methods. And that's all through the app that's coming very, very soon as well. So get excited about those. Like I said, timeline 2 to 4 weeks. I think the question was, where are you going to see all of that coming up? And it's in their actual contact record, Robert. You'll see it here, because again, you're not seeing it in the consumer app, because it's not an agent app, it's a consumer app. Michelle, you could send them that link if you wanted, but I believe that this is more about you and them making a connection. So they're essentially saying, is there any way you can go tour the property and we'll be on your phone live with you? So you could then walk the house. Think about it. I mean, I used to do it all the time with out-of-state buyers. I used to have buyers that would come in, they'd be like, hey, we're coming in for one weekend and we have to buy a house this weekend. Is there any way you can do some tours for us ahead of time? And I used to use FaceTime on my phone. So I'd call them iPhone to iPhone via FaceTime, and I would show them the house. And the wife would say, can you zoom in on that? Or the husband would say, it looks like there's a crack in that corner. Can you show me that a little closer? Or whatever it may be. And I'm using my phone to tour the house with them. So I think it's one more chance of actually getting a tighter or closer connection. Greg, Instagram is not connected via social posts because they don't allow the scheduling of social posts on their platform. It's the reason it's called Instagram, because obviously it's what's happening in the actual moment. Michelle, that's going to have to be a case-by-case scenario with regards to occupied homes. If the owner's not allowing showings, then obviously you can't do a virtual tour with the client of it. So in that case, yeah, you'd have to send a virtual link or something along those lines. Michelle, that's a great question on the KW Mortgage app. I don't know that you can, I don't know for sure is the answer that I have. And you guys know I'm always transparent with you. I don't know, I'm going to tell you. I don't know if you can say, I want this actual mortgage officer to show up on their app. I'll look into it, but Keller Mortgage obviously is a separate company, separate headquarters, separate. They're out of Ohio, right? Where you guys are in Austin. So sometimes the integration is based upon a partnership, and some of it, is detailed and some of it's not. So I'd have to look into that a little bit further, Michelle. Molly B, you can send it out however you want. So yeah, if you have the link, you saw that link that you could find underneath consumer, and you could send that out via MailChimp, you could send it out via command, you could send it out via just sitting on your phone and texting people one-on-one. Melanie, yeah, I think we just answered that. I don't know if you can actually select the lender that you want to have on the app. All right, promo video for the app. Heidi, you're going to be in campaigns. So you're going to go to campaigns and then social posts up here. Got to make sure that you have at least your Facebook or your Twitter account connected. So we would click on social posts, and then we're going to come down to quick posts. So here are two of them. Unfortunately, right now, you just kind of have to shuffle until it pops up. So see, as I shuffle, I got a few different ones that are popping up. Sometimes it comes up like the first time, and sometimes it takes me 5 or 6 times, but this is what it looks like. This is the app video. So you'll know that you can just click on the arrow underneath this one, and now I'm actually sharing the app video itself as compared to just a static image of a house. Yeah, all about the shuffle.
Can you show them, Marty, where if they wanted to change the bio or the picture that's appearing in their mobile consumer app, where they would edit that information in command?
Yep, so a couple of different places. One, this is in command. So you're going to come into your settings, and you're actually, instead of using command, you're going to select connect settings and then marketing profile. And then this is where, your photo, your team logo, your bio, your designations and credentials. This is all information that you can change, and that will start showing up in your profile. I always say, if you're having any issues, and Lindsay probably says the same thing to you guys, if you're ever having any issues with regards to profile information, the 3 places to start off by checking are your connect settings in command, going into kwconnect.com and looking at your profile there, and then there are still pieces of data that get pulled from white pages in certain instances. So if you're not familiar with white pages, Lindsay can help you get through that process, and we can double check white pages as well. Molly, can I see what my client's favorite when they view their search without going to command? No, the app is connected to command, and so that's the reason why you can see it within their contact record there. I'm not sure where else you would see that, but right now I can see a use case in the future when we get command mobile, which would be the agent app, but we're not anywhere close to getting that actually released as of right now. So maybe in the future you'd be able to see it on your command mobile app, but as of today, and please don't come back 2 days from now and be like, Marty said that we would be able to see it in command mobile, because I don't know, A, when command mobile is going to be released, and B, if that function is going to exist in command mobile. But I definitely know that you can come into the command record within the newest app update and see the things that they're searching for, favoriting, etc., as soon as that app gets released. So, and know that with the app release, guys, I could tell you the date. I know the date that they're pushing it through. However, that being said, the app stores sometimes take anywhere from 3 to 10 days to actually approve a requested update. And so that's the reason there's no point in me telling you the day that's getting pushed through, because we still are at the mercy of Google and Apple as to when they're going to actually allow that update to show up on your phone. So I can almost guarantee you, if you are one, paying attention to your emails, paying attention to any of the Facebook groups you're associated with. I know Lindsay will be really excited about it. I'm sure she'll share it with the entire Market Center. So just kind of keep your eyes open. It will not be a secret when it comes out, because I'm sure everyone will be very excited about the things that we can then do within the actual new app and how it connects to command. Other questions, comments, concerns, anything else?
I have a question, Marty. How did you become such an expert with this stuff? Did you get to go on a special training? Did they give you a manual? How is it that you know so much about command?
Yeah, so Josh and I get together about once a day. I drive to Austin, we hang out in his basement. No, absolutely not. I play in command. I am in command every single day, right? And a lot of times, I mean, if you ever want to learn a program really well, volunteer to teach it to 180,000 people for 66 days in a row, 4 times in a row, right? So I know command so well because I play with it every single day. I use it every single day. I'm not even in active production right now, guys. I'm doing, my production is 100% based upon agent referrals, past client referrals, and then my sphere. And so, but I'm still doing things like running Facebook ads and learning lead routing and learning the difference between a contact and a field and what it means to assign a contact to someone on a team versus share a contact with someone on a team, because these are all things that it's important for me to know. And you can read help articles all day, every single day. And there's a ton of help articles that are extremely helpful, don't get me wrong. And yet sometimes it's learning by doing, right? Get in there, get messy, start playing with command and utilize it. If you ever have any questions, guys, I have an entire YouTube channel of recorded videos, including some of you are on the full day trainings that we've done. Those are now been uploaded, all 4 of those, to my YouTube channel. So if you ever just want to spend 6 hours watching one of those videos, feel free to knock yourself out. And then, of course, you have individual training videos via the 66-day challenge series that I have uploaded as well. What is the script to get a client to switch from Zillow or Redfin app to my app? Robert, I would talk about some of the features that we mentioned at the very beginning: the ability to search by neighborhood, the ability to let's go back to the very beginning, and it depends on who your client is, and they may not even care. However, every time you do something in the Zillow app, Zillow is tracking exactly what you're doing to make themselves better, which consumers may not care about. That's the reality, right? However, when you start getting calls from Zillow Premier agents about the things that you're doing in your Zillow app, I think that's when the game changes. And I don't see that being that far off, right? Because obviously we can see what our clients are doing in their app. I don't think it's a far step to say that Zillow is going to provide that access to Premier agents or agents that are paying them in order to start generating leads that way. Obviously, they're looking for more money. So the additional ability to be able to search by neighborhood, to get neighborhood data, to be able to see the commute times, the walk, bike, and travel times via car to 3 or 4 of their favorite places. The ability to be able to search nationally. I mean, obviously I know Zillow and Redfin can do both of those things. That's probably more if you're getting them off of, I don't even know, does Abor have an app? I know in Houston, my biggest thing is that there's HAR has a really good app. But I've been telling people, hey, there may be times where you're looking for property outside of Houston. And what good is the HAR app going to do you if you're looking for properties outside of Houston? If you want to move to Austin, the HAR app is useless. So the Keller Williams app is national, meaning you can search for real estate anywhere in the nation. And honestly, Robert, it's one of those things where you're just like, hey, will you do me a favor? I've heard the script. We've got a new app, and I'm creating a small group of trusted individuals that I can count on to give me feedback, because I've been asked by KWRI and our labs team to get direct agent feedback from people you trust to give it to you about our new app. So will you do me a favor? Will you download it? Will you spend maybe 10 minutes a day for the next 3 days just kind of playing on it, checking it out, making searches? If you want, we can actually set up a Zoom call and I can show you some of the cool things that it can do. And then once you're done, can you just give me some feedback? And the hope is, obviously, they get in, they start using your app and they get hooked on it, addicted to yours, because the reality is the majority of the things they can do in Zillow and Redfin, they can do on our app as well. Does the app pull from all MLS in the US, or does it include homes that aren't in any MLS? Yeah, Kristen, it has no way of pulling homes that aren't in the MLS. So yes, it's from Smarter Agent has connections to 1,400 plus MLSs across the US. And so that's where the listings are coming from, are those MLSs powered by that connection to Smarter Agent, which is basically the company that we bought to power the app, among other things. Anything else, questions? I'm looking through to see any other things that are coming up. That's pretty much it with regards to the app. Oh, I told you, hang on real quick. Let me get this last thing and then we'll let you guys go. I told you I'd show you where to find your collections and just realized I didn't actually tell you that. So those collections that we had earlier, so my favorites, in order to actually see your favorites, you're going to come down to saved, the heart button at the bottom right, the fourth one over. If they click on saved, that's where they can see their collections and their saved searches. And they can click on view all. So you can see I've created a variety of collections as I continue to teach this class. And you can see all of those listed here. So that one that we just created was the Katy area home search. I can just, if I don't want to go back through the process of putting all that criteria in again, or drawing that line on the map to make sure I get it perfect again, I can just click on that actual search and it's going to pull up those properties right there for me. Again, remember how we hid that one listing? You saw it show on the screen for about a half second and then it went away. That's because we hid that listing and so it's no longer going to show up on the map. You can also slightly see that some of these are really dark black and some of them are like a light charcoal gray. The light charcoal gray ones are listings that you have already previewed, you've already looked at. So that way you can kind of tell the difference between the ones you have looked at and the ones that you have not looked at. Laura, I'm not 100% certain what you're asking about, so maybe follow up with Lindsay offline on that one.
I think she means in smart plans where you can change the verbiage of what's going out in the smart plans maybe? Is that what you mean, Laura? Where you can like edit the text maybe that's in the
Yeah, you can definitely do the texts. Right now, the majority of those emails are, if you're going out on a smart plan, are not editable. But you can create your own smart plans with your own email templates if you want to go that route. Can clients get notifications of new listings that fit their saved search parameters? Heidi, I joke that there are two big drums right off screen that you can't see. I beat this one, and then I beat this one, and then I beat this one. This is anytime I want to call with KWRI and labs. Notifications is number one. And then number two is roles and permissions. So if you're not on a team, that won't have as big of an impact for you. But right now, no, they are not getting notifications with regards to new listings that are coming up. But it is literally probably in the top 3 of priority items that they are being worked on at the labs team right now, is the ability to get those alerts. So this is more for kind of a search and kind of looking at different properties to see what they want to see, and then they can send them to you so you can know which ones they want to actually look at. But as far as their own alerts right now, no, there's not a setup for alerts. Well, guys, that's it. So we have got, this was recorded. Lindsay, did you record it separately from me, or?
I don't think I was able to.
Okay.
No, I did not.
Perfect. So I'll send you the link to the video. That way you can put it on y'all's site.
Thank you.
And you can kind of pull that up and they can rewatch that anytime they want to do that. Obviously, I mean, literally, I'm going to brag on Lindsay for a little while. I have 29 market center tech drivers in the 29 market centers that I work on, and she is one of the best. So you guys get excited because she works very, very hard on your behalf. A lot of times, you know, spending time learning things that she's only learning so she can help you when the time comes. So Lindsay, keep up the great work. Very proud to be in business with you, and I appreciate you very much.
Thanks, Marty. We're proud to be in business with you too. I mean, the things you've shared with KW are unmatched, having all your videos and everything. I refer to them every single day.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Ryan Kelly, can we communicate with our clients in the app at this time? Right now, that's what the guide will be for. I mean, sorry, excuse me, the feed will be for. And they are working on developing what that ultimately will look like. So right now, it's basically just kind of alerts going back and forth. But in the future, yes, you will be able to communicate within the app, just not right today. So that's what that feed button is at the bottom left. And it's the reason we didn't go through it, because they're still working on developing that out a little bit further. All right, guys, stay healthy, stay safe, get out there and enjoy some good weather before we get the craziness coming this week. And as always, I'll look forward to seeing you guys online. Can't wait to see you at your market center next quarter. So our quarterly visits will continue. And I can't wait to get to see you guys in person, shake your hands, hug your necks. And until then, I wish you all the best. Take care, guys.